Hi, my name is David Mitchell, and I am a consultant and Atlassian certified professional with Valiantus. Valiantus is an Atlassian Platinum Solutions partner. And today, for those of you who are looking to migrate to Atlassian's cloud platform, we're going to talk about some of the differences and unique new features you will encounter in the Jira Cloud product. With that said, let's first take a look at what is actually similar between the on-premise Jira products and the Jira Cloud product. So, regarding what is the same or similar between the cloud and on-premise products is pretty much the layout. When you migrate to cloud, you're not going to be working with a completely different product. If you were in an office and you had a combination of people working on Jira Cloud and Jira Server or Jira Data Center, um, and you were just looking over people's shoulders, you would be hard pressed to tell which is which because the layout is pretty much the same. So let's just take a survey here, a walkthrough of Jira Cloud. This is a Jira Cloud site. And what you'll see is it's pretty much the same. This upper nav bar, you've got your product switcher, you've got your main navigation bar across the top. On the pages that have a left-hand navigation panel, you will have that will be there as well. Your search bar is in pretty much the same place right here. You have your settings cog and your user profile drop down right here. Also, the way issues are listed and displayed in Jira, let's just go take a look real quick. Let me find a project to look at here. You go in here and you get into issue view. It's pretty much the same type of almost spreadsheet type of look. You've got your issues listed this way, and you can switch between list view and detailed view. So when you migrate to cloud, you're not going to be looking at something that's just a completely different experience. You're going to be, 80 to 85% of it is going to be the same, but there are some unique new features here and there, and some things kind of rearranged a little bit. And we're going to talk about that today to kind of help you avoid that bump in the road when you migrate to cloud. So with that said, let's look at what are some unique and different features in cloud. Going back to this project, right here you've got your project switcher. It's in the same place. When you click on it, you're going to see something that's a little bit different. Here on mine, you'll see that there's a column of colorful chiclet type of icons there. Most of you aren't going to see something like that. That's because I'm a consultant and I just have access to a whole lot of different instances. That basically allows me to navigate between all of the different cloud instances that I have access to. You'll see here also you have the apps listed here where there's your apps, and it has Atlassian Start, Jira Software, Service Management, Work Management, Confluence, etc. That is going to be the list of all the apps that you have available to you within this particular instance that you're navigating in. So it's the same type of concept as on server or data center, but there's just a lot more. This is more of a full-featured type of start menu. Next, you've got your homepage icon. When you click on this, right now I have this configured to go to the Your Work page. Now, in cloud, let me show you something here really quick. You can go to each user on a user by user basis can configure what the homepage icon, what page the homepage icon goes to. Let me show you how to do that. If you go to your profile drop down and go into personal settings, you will find this setting right here where it says your Jira homepage. And right now you can see here for me it's set to your work. You drop this down, you've got three options here. It can be your work, it can be the projects directory, or dashboards. Typically, what I find is what Atlassian is doing right now for most people, they are defaulting this to the your work page, which I think is a really great option. So um, with that said, let's look at the Your Work page and the Your Work dropdown a little bit. In cloud, Atlassian really wants to make it very easy for you to get to everything that you need very quickly. So there's been a lot of thought put into this. Here on the Your Work page, you've got your recent projects. You've got items listed here that you've worked on recently. Uh, Again, here's some tabs. You can look at everything that you've viewed recently. You can look at items that are assigned to yourself. These are items that are assigned to me. And then you've got this tab for items that you have starred. Now, this is something that's unique to cloud. And in cloud, you can star items of all types. You can star projects, you can star um, dashboards, plans, certain plans within plans. You can star filters. So anything that you use often and you want to get to quickly, you can put a star on it, and you'll be able to get to that very quickly here. Related to this, real quickly, let's look at the Your Work dropdown. This is also another thing that Atlassian has put in place to help you get to things quickly. This is just another way to get to items that are assigned to you, things that you've looked at recently, boards that you have starred or boards that you may have work on, and queues that you may be working in if you're using Jira Service Management. So as a user, these features might really serve just out of the box to get you right to everything that you need to get access to right away. One thing that you might notice here in the navigation bar here across the top is there's no boards drop down. You know, in the on-prem products on server and data center, there's a boards drop down. I want to show you how to get to that. That functionality is here. It's just moved a little bit. Over here on the search bar, if you click on the search bar, this search bar really, you just click on it, it opens up a very full-featured search experience. And we'll talk a little bit more about this later, but explore this. It's pretty intuitive, but one thing you'll notice down here at the bottom is where it says boards. So if you click on boards, this will get you to all of the boards, and similar to the boards drop down that you had in the main navigation bar on server or data center. All right. Further exploring across the bar here at the top, you'll see Teams. What is Teams? Teams is a new feature in cloud. It's you can just sort of create your own ad hoc groups. And so let's just create one here for fun real quick. Let's just do create a team. And let's say we're going to create something called, let's see, charity initiative committee. And I can invite people to the team. I can add whoever I want to, so I can pull some other people in here that are in this instance. And then I can do create a team. What this does is this creates an ad hoc group that you can you can assign things to, but you can @mention that group. If you're anywhere in Jira, anywhere you can do a comment and you can @mention someone or something, you can @mention the whole group. Additionally, within Jira Cloud, there's a new Teams field where you can populate that Teams field with your various teams. Let's see if we can look at. You can see here that I've created 2 teams. I have a test team and I have the charity initiative committee, and let's just see if we can see all of the teams. I think there's a variety of teams here. Okay, I'm only seeing the teams that I'm a member of, and that's fine. But that's what that is. The thing about teams to be aware of is that when you create a team, it's it's not something that's heavily administered by your administrators. It's actually not administered by your administrators at all. And anyone within the team can add or remove people within that team. So it's not something that's secured. It's not something that you really want to if it's something that you want to have governed very closely. Teams is just not something that you is going to be governed very closely. It's something that's very open. All right, let's look at on this the bar across the top. Notice you have this apps drop down on your on-prem products, server and data center. For the apps that you would have installed in your instance, they would just sort of go across the top bar here and take up real estate. What they've done in cloud is they've just made a drop down for your apps, so it doesn't take up so much real estate. It saves space, but you have them all. They're just all right here in that drop down. Next, let's sort of get back to home base here. Let's take a look at the Create button. If you click the Create button, you've got you've got your typical create issue experience. There's kind of a couple of options that they've given you here. You've got your standard modal box here, but here's this icon here where it says exit full screen. You can click that, and you can have just an abbreviated. They call this like the new create experience. You can have this window down here at the right where you can create new issues in whatever project you want without taking up so much space on the screen. And you can also, likewise, you can click here to the go full screen icon with the two arrows going outward to get back to the original create issue experience. Another thing that I want to point out to you here is you'll notice here's this import issues button on your on-premise products. When you're not in the create issue window, and you're just within a project and you're looking at issues, and you've got your list of issues here. You recall there used to be on-prem. There's a button up here for importing issues. In this case, on cloud, it's within your create issue dialog. And when you think about it, this really makes a lot of sense because when you're importing issues by CSV within the context of a project, basically in that case, it's creating new issues. Um, as opposed to, for some of you who are administrators, you may know that when you're in the system administration and you're importing things via CSV, you can create and update issues. But in this case, like I said, at the project level, you're importing issues, you're creating new issues as opposed to updating issues. So having it here within the create window is just good context and sort of emphasizes the point that you're creating new issues when you import here. All right, let's look at just navigating through a project in cloud. Let's go to my cloud demo project here. In cloud, if if the project that you're going to has a task board, it is going to automatically open up in that board. That's not something that happens on server. So this is some really nice new behavior because that's typically where you want to go. If your project has a board, that's typically where you want to go when you open the project anyway. Um, another really cool feature I want to show you here. Say we're here on the board, and say you just want to look at an item here. You click on it. It automatically opens up the item in a modal window here, which is great. Server and data center does not do this, and I think this is something that we all wish server and data center would do. And I really appreciate this because when I'm on server or data center, this is what I want. I don't want or prefer the window that opens up here on the side panel of the window. So what I do on server data center is I wind up right clicking on the issue, clicking on open in new tab so I can get to this sort of view. And that takes me 2 or 3 clicks. Whereas here in cloud, I can just click on the item and I go right to the view that I want. So that's really fantastic. Another thing that's interesting about the boards here in cloud, if I close this down, um, quick filters are automatically set up for you for everyone that is an assignee within the project. That is another great time saver, which makes perfect sense. If you're on server or data center, you have to set up quick filters. But in this case, these are quick filters that everybody tends to set up automatically anyway. So Atlassian just does that for you automatically here in cloud. Another thing that you'll notice here on the board, you'll see here at the upper right, you have an ellipsis button as opposed to the board dropdown. This serves the same function as the board dropdown. It gets you um, into your board configuration settings. It's just a little bit different in terms of the format of the UI there. And with that said, um, I'll go ahead and click back to the board. This is all familiar user interface items that you've seen before. But I just want to mention that in the cloud platform, this ellipsis button in the upper right hand corner is something that you'll see all throughout both Jira and Confluence. So this is a common thing that you will see. Let's go into looking at some issues in cloud and show you what's a little bit different there. I'm going to go into my project. I'm going to get into list view. And I'm just going to go into an issue here that's assigned to me. We get into this view. One thing that you'll notice right off the bat is there are far fewer buttons. When you're on an on-premise product, a server product, or data center product, there's a lot of buttons here. There's even on server or data center, there's even specifically an edit button that you have to click to get into edit mode. You'll notice there is no edit button because the UI here in cloud is it's actually streamlined. You don't have to click a button to get into edit mode. You can just edit items individually by clicking on them, and it's a lot quicker experience. And I'm going to demonstrate that for you here. Let me go ahead and just demonstrate that for you right now. It's what they've done in cloud is they call it inline editing. So I can just say I want to change the assignee. I can just click on this item and I can go click on someone else and assign it to that other person. I just literally with 2 clicks, I just changed the assignee. That was very quick and easy for me. Again, I can just click on the priority here, select a different priority. It's that simple. Here's the team field that I was talking to you about earlier. If I want to reference a team here, when I click here, now you can see that the teams that are configured within the system show up. I will go ahead and just assign this to the charity initiative committee that I created before. This is not the same as an assignee, like the assignee is up here, but it is something that you can use to reference and query and search and filter on. So this team functionality can go a long way if you're wanting to draw attention to certain issues from a particular group of people. All right, what else do we need to look at here? One thing you'll notice is that there are no transition buttons. There are no transition buttons. And you'll notice here on this issue, this says done. Let me go back out and let's find one that's not in done status. And we'll look at that. We'll go look at an item that's in backlog. Here's one. You'll see right here, here's this indicator that shows the status. Something that it's almost like a best kept secret when you first migrate to cloud. It kind of drove me crazy when I first um, started using the cloud interface because I just was looking at the screen and was like, where are my buttons to change statuses? Well, the status indicator is also the control that you use to change statuses as well. So right here where it says backlog, you just click this drop down and it will show you the other statuses that you can go to. So from here, right here, you can change it to in progress and your status changes to in progress. So remember that your status indicator is also the same control that allows you to transition from one status to another. The icons here in the upper right corner. Let's take a look at these. This is your watch options. You can click on this where you can manage. You can start watching yourself an item, or you can manage other watchers. You can upvote something if you have voting turned on here. This is a share icon, and you can click on here. Notice that you can use this to share with a person or even a team. So I can mention my charity initiative team if I want to share it with that group. And I accidentally added more than one team. And I can even type a little message here. Hey team, please take a look at this issue. I think it's important. And then that message will go out to those people within that group that you put there. You'll also notice that here's a share in Slack option. Slack integration is built into cloud, so that's something really nice. If you use Slack, it's right there for you. Again, as I mentioned before, you've got your 3 ellipses button right up here in the upper right, which allows you to do a variety of tasks relative in the context of this particular issue. One last thing that I want to show you here is, as you're looking at an issue, is the concept of pinning fields. And so you notice you got the fields displayed here on the right, and you've got, here in the detail section, you've got assignee reporter, labels, priority, etc. And then you've got more fields. This more fields section can be expanded and collapsed, and your administrator can and your project administrator can determine which fields are shown here. But if there are certain fields that you interact real often, if you interact with real often and you want them to be just more accessible, one thing you notice is if you just kind of hover over the field, you got to get there just right. Notice the little pin icon there that showed up. And if I click that pin, that will pin that field to the top. So now if you go to the top, I have my pinned fields, and the fixed versions field is pinned here to the top for me. That is unique to me. That only affects me. That doesn't affect all users. So I can do that and sort of customize the way the fields are displayed here just for myself if I want. So again, just hovering over here to the right of the field, and then the pin shows up and you just click on it. I just pinned components. So that's up at the top. So that was a brief overview of some of the new features you will So that was a brief overview of some of the new features you will encounter in Jira Cloud after migrating from server or data center. Thank you for watching and have an excellent day.